Hey, greetings YouTube, Performance Reviews, where I give you the review from the technician's point of view. And today I want to talk about Black Friday deals. Now, I usually start this video off by going to the box stores and the manufacturers to see what deals they have. Today I'm going to start off with some industry insider information, which is that Sebo, one of the most recommended vacuum brands on the internet, is doing 15% off pretty much their entire lineup. So this is going to be my number one pick for Black Friday. I'm just starting off with that first because I want everybody to have that out there. Also, if you go to your local dealer, you'll be able to get that 15% off MSRP in person. So you don't actually have to wait to have these shipped if you have a local dealer in your area. In the link below, I'm going to put a link to your local dealer. And next, I want to post Miele. Miele is another German manufacturer. Yes, they also have a dealer network, but the machines on sale are kind of their low-end machines. But if you are looking at a Miele C1, now is the time to get it. It is 20% off to 25% off, depending on where you look. So call up your local dealer, see what you can get. The other thing that's on sale are their cordless machines, the Triflex HX1. So if you wanted one of those for quick pickups, those are on sale. They also have the M1 Cat and Dog on sale, which is a high-end area rug, hard floor only machine. So that's a machine for people without wall-to-wall carpets. That is on sale as well. The other thing that is coinciding with Black Friday is they just had a model change up. So you'll probably see some C3s discounted at your local retailer. So I would go ahead and take a look there. Again, I'm going to put a link to your local retailers in the description box. I'll also put a link to the C1s on Amazon for you as well. Next, I wanted to go through the Black Friday list from Vacuum Wars, which coincides with an Amazon list that was put out of vacuum cleaners on sale. It's a very incomplete list, and it has a lot of products you wouldn't want to necessarily buy. If you have questions about that, go see my video on the cheap vacuum trap, where I talk about disposable and bagless machines actually costing you more and being more of a hassle to use in detail. Looking at the list, the only machine that I kind of recommend, and it's like a really situational recommend, mean you have like low profile carpet, and this is like the only thing that you can find. It's the Kenmore, but they're selling it for a little bit more than the normal street price, which is typically $130. So it's actually $10 more on Black Friday. So you probably want to go ahead and skip that this year. Going through the list on Vacuum Wars website, Chris, you got to do better. These are terrible vacuums. Every single one of these is either not on sale or just a vacuum you want to avoid. So this list is pretty bad. There are better things you can spend your money on. I have a list of the best vacuums on Amazon, and I'm going to stick by that list. Definitely check the prices on that, but I think, again, Amazon is probably not going to be where you're going to get the best Black Friday deals on vacuums. You're probably going to get them either directly from the manufacturer or in store where they're sold. All right, speaking of manufacturers, let's go over and see what Dyson has to offer. Now, I don't typically recommend Dyson uprights. They're high maintenance, and they tend to be overpriced for what they are, but they are very good at stick vacuums. So if you need something for quick pickups, again, this is not going to do your whole house, take a look at the V8 or the V12. Those would be my recommendations. You're not going to have these forever. In 2 to 4 years, you're going to throw them away. Dyson even says that on their website, but they are decent stick vacuums for the price that they're selling them for on Black Friday. You also want to check in store. You'll see some of these will be sold in store for even a little bit less. You will see Dyson animal uprights for sale. I think the Dyson ball for $219. You get what you pay for. This machine does multiple different types of floors, and when it expires in like 5 years, you're not going to be upset when you get rid of this. I would probably stay away from the Dyson Ball Animal 3. You're paying a lot of extra money for not a lot of extra cleaner. And of course, the Big Ball Turbine Head is a hard floor area rug machine. If you did want a Dyson canister vacuum for hard floors and area rugs, you can get it for $229 from Macy's. Not someplace I would think to look for it for vacuum cleaners, but it is available. I do just want to note, you're going to see discounts on the Gen 5, the V11, whatever they're calling this machine these days. These are really heavy, bulky machines. I don't recommend them. They're 8 or 9 pounds, and that's all up high in your wrist. Most women actually can't even lift these with one hand. So just stay away from these machines in general, no matter how deep the discounts are you see. Just a quick side note, I'm not seeing any other deals from Macy's. I poked around on their website, and they have some Miele's for sale, but they're not an authorized Miele dealer, so you're buying it without a warranty. You will get the same deal or better in your local store. And of course, They have some other products like Shark on sale. Again, I would stay away from these machines. Next on our manufacturer list is Hoover. Hoover is probably my favorite of the cheap Chinese machines. They generally have parts available, and you can get local dealer support from Hoover, though if you try and call by phone, go see Louis Rossman's video on that. It's a pretty terrible experience. But they're cheap and disposable, and they do have a quote-unquote sale. However, these are the normal prices of these machines. Typically on Cyber Monday, they have a better deal than Black Friday, so if you really want a Hoover product, I would wait to Cyber Monday to purchase one. Typically, they go between 20 and 30% off on Cyber Monday. Usually by now we see 20% off Hoover, so again, I would wait for Hoover. They'll probably have a one-day flash sale. Now, if you're unaware, Oreck and Hoover are the same company, so again, you're going to see the same sales mirrored on Oreck's website. Again, wait to Cyber Monday or walk into your local store. I would expect at least 20% off for Cyber Monday. Unfortunately, Henry/NaceCare is not doing any holiday promotions. If we go to Amazon, it's about $10 to $20 off, so I guess if you wanted a Henry and you didn't have a local dealer, you might save yourself a little bit of money, but no fantastic deals on Henrys that I found. Next, we got Bissell, who is known for their cheap vacuums, and they at least have about 15 to 20% off their lineup looking at their deals. I know some of these say like 52 or 40%, but no, they're not really that deep of a discount. But I appreciate them having a sale and listing the terms and conditions up front. Hang with me, folks, this is confusing, but Bissell Big Green Commercial is actually a whole separate company. They are doing 15% off their commercial equipment, which is a good thing. I don't recommend all their stuff, but they do have a rebranded Lindhouse vacuum. So if you wanted a Lindhouse Italian vacuum, you can get 15% off from Bissell on that, which probably makes it about $50 less than you'd normally see from a dealer. And if you go straight to Amazon, you can save yourself the $20 off their products on Amazon. I'll have a link to this below, but this is one of the few Bissell products I recommend. Now, I don't recommend any of the Bissell home carpet extractors or any of their home vacuums right now. However, the Big Green machine, which is ironically not made by Bissell, is the regular price. It's usually $449, $442. I'm going to call that the regular price. And they're going to give you this cheap steamer with it. So I guess if you want a cheap steamer, but that's the deal on the Bissell Big Green machine. Now, another division of Bissell Commercial is Sanitaire, and they are having, again, 15% off. I'll have a link below to this on Amazon as well, if you just want to get it from Amazon rather than their website directly. The manufacturer I want to cover is Kenmore. Kenmore from China. They are not associated with Sears in any way, and they make some incredibly cheap vacuums made by Cleva. However, $240 for a canister vacuum, it's kind of a deal. Considering that Amazon sells it for $265, you are getting it a little bit less delivered, even with their shipping fee. So if you had your heart set on a Kenmore and you really wanted this, again, I think this will make you hate a canister vacuum. Kenmore does have their whole lineup on sale. Long-term subscribers of the channel will already know this, but Costco is generally the worst place to buy a vacuum cleaner. They have a terrible selection. However, there were two machines that stood out. One is the LG Cord Zero, which is one of my recommended cordless vacuum cleaners. This is way more powerful than a Dyson and typically a lot less. This is on sale for $379. Typically, these go a little bit lower. You might be able to find it for like $330, but it's a decent deal and you can go in your local Costco and get it today. Other for my people who are hell-bent on high maintenance upright vacuums, so you can get the latest and greatest Dyson for $299. If you're going to get one, get it from Costco. In a year or two or 5, whenever this thing shits the bed, return to Costco and buy yourself something better when you're tired of dealing with it. Now, for years, Walmart has not sold good vacuums in store, and sometimes they have stuff online. I looked. The only machine I recommend online that they have right now is the Eureka. You can get it on Amazon for the same price. This typically sells for $70, so what, you're saving yourself $7-8. Not a huge deal. Target very much mirrors Walmart, and they have a terrible vacuum selection. You would not want any of these in your house, and these are particularly disposable. Now, if you don't have a Costco membership and you want a Dyson, Target has the same deals as Costco does. Again, I don't know why you would want these. Best Buy has absolutely no Black Friday deals on vacuum cleaners. In fact, they're actually selling most of their stuff higher than even Dyson themselves by $100. Well, it looks like 15 to 20% is really the maximum saving this year, 2025, for Black Friday. Thanks for watching. If you really like what we're doing, go check out our Patreon and some of our other content. Have yourself a fantastic Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.